This is video number 21 in the series, and as I mentioned last time, I've included a progress check with this video. You can find it in the description of this video. It's a link to a PDF that's 2 pages long. It includes an instructions page and 4 examples, 1 rhythm reading example, 2 syllable reading examples, and 1 sight singing example, solfège in bass clef. And the idea is that you can use it to gauge your progress, to gauge where you're at in terms of the series, if you are where you're supposed to be. People will take different amounts of time with these videos, as I mentioned before. Some people might only take a week, for example, for each video. I hope you're not blazing through them too fast. I mean, some people might take quite a bit longer depending on how much you're practicing on your own. The idea of the series was never that you watch the videos and kind of become an expert at solfège. It's supposed to more give you sort of a guide of the type of things to think about or methods and techniques that can be helpful in gaining fluency. And also, if you're finding yourself struggling with some of these examples we've been doing are difficult. It's not expected that you can sight sing them perfectly. If you could do that at this point, I'm impressed, you know. But the idea is that you work at the examples. I think that's what Danhauser's intention was as well. Not that you can just kind of go through and say, oh, I can sight sing that, and you know, because everyone's going to make mistakes. You know, I don't care how good you are. I could always speed up the tempo, throw a different clef at you, put it in C flat major. Just kidding. But anyway, I hope you print out that progress check and go through it. The idea is that you can get at least 80% of each of the examples correct in the recovery method. But let's go ahead and move to the content for this video. I've got, as usual, a couple syllable reading exercises. The first one we'll get to is in bass and treble clef, switching between them, and then we'll get to some more alto clef. And then we'll move on to some Danhauser examples, this time in F major and D minor, which we haven't seen before. So let's go ahead and get to that first syllable reading exercise in Dandelot. And it looks like this. We're going to go ahead and take a tempo about like this. I'll give you a count of 4. It'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Not incredibly fast. And let's try to group these according to the beams. So in the first system and part of the second system, we'll group the syllables in 4, putting an accent on the first syllable, and then we'll go ahead and read in groups of 2 in the second system, or the last part of the second system. So let's go ahead and do this one. I'll give you a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Re, la, fa, re, mi, la, sol, mi, fa, la, fa. Re, la, fa, re, la, sol, mi. Do, la, si, do, re, fa, mi, sol, fa, la, re, do, sol, si, fa, la, mi, sol, do, la, re, fa, sol, fa, la, mi, re, la, fa, la, fa, re, la, fa, re, la, fa, re. All right, and let's move on to our alto clef examples. I want to do 3 of them, and we'll start with number 8. And in this one, Dandelot is introducing the G as a reference point on the first space in the alto clef. So we'll be using that as a reference point. Let's go through this one. We'll take it at a tempo about like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I'll give you a count of 4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, sol, la, fa, sol, do, re, sol, do, si, fa, re, la, sol, la, re, si, fa, sol, la, fa, do, re, si, do, sol, do, re, la, sol, fa, re, sol, do, fa, sol, re, do, sol, do, re, si, sol, fa, re, si, la, sol, do. And let's go ahead and look at the very next example, number 9. We'll take this one about the same tempo. I'll give you a count of 4. Let's go ahead and go through it. Try to group them as you see them, you know. There are no beams in this one, so group them as is logical for you. Your groups might be different than mine, but you'll hear my accent patterns. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, sol, do, fa, do, re, sol, fa, la, do. Do, re, sol, si, do, fa, sol, la. Do, re, sol, fa, la, do, re, si. Do, re, sol, do, fa, do, la, sol, re, si, sol, re, do, sol, re, do, fa, la, re, sol, sol, si, do, fa, sol, si, re, do, si, do. All right, let's go ahead and do number 10 now, which includes some larger leaps than we've seen in these last two. Looks like this. Let's take it at about the same tempo, of course, as Alto Clef. We're still getting used to it. But use those reference points. Remember, G and C are the reference points here. Let's go ahead and do it about the same tempo. Count of 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sol, re, si, fa, la, re, do, si. Si, si, sol, re. Re, re, la, la, sol, sol, fa, re, si, sol, re, do, la, fa, sol, la, si, re, do, sol, fa, re, la, si, sol, do, re, sol, si, fa, re, do, la, re, si, sol, re, si, do, sol, sol, la, fa, re, do. All right, so that's going to do it for the syllable reading. Let's go ahead and move on to Danhauser, to the very first example we've seen in F major. And let's quickly, before we do that, look at the warm-up for F major. Looks like this and sounds like this. Fa, la, do, re, si, sol, mi, fa. So no different than any of the others we've seen, just transposed. But let's go ahead and take a look at exercise number 121 in Danhauser's first book. Looks like this. Take a look at it for a second and see if you can identify any modulations that occur. So what do you look for when you look for modulations? Generally, you'll be looking for accidentals, right? So in the second system, you can see a B natural there, which puts us in the key of C major for the end of that second system and the third system. So I'm going to go ahead and put a stop sign in that second system. We'll stop there and sing a C major warm-up. And in the beginning of the fourth system, we won't take any repeats as usual. We'll go ahead and do an F major warm-up. And other than that, you can put in grace notes wherever you want. But I want you to also pay attention to the dynamics and articulation, as well as the triplets and the dotted eighths followed by the 16ths. So let's take a quick look at a conducting pattern for 2/4 again. So if your conducting pattern is like this, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's practice doing a triplet on the first beat and on the second beat, dotted eighth followed by a 16th. So da 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 da. Da 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 da. So you can see that I'm throwing in a subdivision in my conducting, an eighth note on the second beat, which will help you fine-tune the accuracy there. Let's go ahead and go through this one. We'll take it a hair slower than indicated. The indicated tempo is 96, and we'll take it at about 72. A quick F major warm-up again. Fa, la, do, re, si, sol, mi, fa. All right, so I'll give you a full measure, count of 2, and we'll come in on the fa. Here we go. Ready, and fa, fa, la, sol, fa. La, do, si, la. Do, re, mi, re, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa. La, si, la, sol, la. Stop. Do, mi, sol, la, fa, re, si, do. Ready, and do, re, do, si, do, mi, sol, fa, mi, re, mi. Do, re, do, si, do, mi, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, re, do, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Stop. Fa, la, do, re, si, sol, mi, fa. Ready, and do, mi, re, do. mi, sol, fa, mi. Sol, la, si, sol, la, fa, do, la, re, do, si, la, sol. Do, re, si, la. Fa, mi, re, do. Re, si, do, la, si, do, si, la, si, la, sol, fa, mi, sol, do. Fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, la, si, sol, la, si, sol, la, si, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, si, la, sol, fa. So next one we're going to do is going to be a shorter one in the key of D minor, the relative minor of F major. And let's go ahead and quickly take a look at the warm-up for that key. Looks like that. Re, fa, la, si, sol, mi, do, re. And let's go ahead and do this one. It's going to be in the same meter and the same clef. Let's take a look at it. Looks like this. And let's see, do you see any modulations in this one? I said to look for accidentals, but in this one, it's a little bit more tricky to see it. But there is a modulation that occurs. You can see that the last note of the first system is F, or Fa. So there we land, of course, in the relative major of D minor, F major. So I'm going to go ahead and put a stop sign 3 measures before the end of that first system. And then we'll go ahead and put another stop sign in that second system there, where we'll warm up to D minor. So in the first system we'll do an F major warm-up, and in the second system we'll be doing a D minor warm-up. So let's go ahead and do this one. We'll take it at the tempo indicated. Again, I'll give you a count of 2, and pay attention to those dynamics. Let's just really quickly do a D minor warm-up. Re, fa, la, si, sol, mi, do, re. All right, here we go. Ready, and. La, re, do, la, sol, mi, fa, mi, re. La, re, stop. Fa, la, do, re, si, sol, mi, fa, do. All right, here we go. Ready, and. Do, re, mi, fa. Do, re, do. Sol, la, fa. Do, stop. Re, fa, la, si, sol, mi, do, re. Here we go. Ready, and. Do, re, mi. La, re, do, la, sol, mi, fa, mi, re. La, re, do, re, fa, mi, re. All right, let's move on to an example in F major in bass clef. Number 160 looks like this. And see if you can identify any modulations really quickly. Glance over it. So you can see we have some accidentals in the second system. And in the fourth system and fifth system, we might see some accidentals. We see some accidentals that we really haven't seen before. Let's go ahead and put in a couple stop signs. And in the first stop sign, we'll go ahead and do a C major warm-up, since we're modulating to the dominant there. And in the fourth system, we'll be headed back to F major. And I'm going to use grace notes, actually, for those trickier accidentals that we see at the end of the fourth system. You might pause the video and practice that yourself. This is actually relatively tricky, maybe trickier than any of the accidentals we've seen up to this point. But also pay attention to the accents in this example and the dynamics as usual. I'm going to go ahead and do it at the same tempo, and instead of giving you a full measure, we'll just give you a ready and for this one. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do this one. Let's start with an F major warm-up. Fa, la, do, re, si, sol, mi, fa. Here we go. Ready, and. Fa, do, si, la, sol, fa. La, sol, la, si, la, sol. Fa, do, si, la, sol, fa. La, sol, la, si, la, sol. Stop. Do, mi, sol, la, fa, re, si, do. Ready, and.
La, si, do, si, la, sol. La, sol, si, do, si, la, sol. La, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, do. Do, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Mi, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do.
Stop.
Fa, la, do, re, si, sol, mi, fa.
Ready, and.
Fa, do, si, la, sol, fa. La, sol, sol. La, si, la, sol. Do, la, fa. Re, mi, re, sol, fa. Re, do, si, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, la, sol, fa, sol, la, fa, re, mi, fa.
Okay, and the last example I want to look at for this video is number 162, and there's nothing really too complicated about it, but it is in 6/8. So go ahead and conduct a 2 pattern, but be thinking of that underlying triple feel. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Looks like this in D minor, and we'll take it at the tempo indicated, 60 beats per minute. I'm going to just put in a single grace note. Let's go ahead and do a quick D minor warm-up. Re, fa, la, si, sol, mi, do, re. Okay, give you 2 beats, full measure. Here we go. Ready, and. Re, fa, la, re, si, la, fa, re, mi, fa, mi, sol, si, la, re, fa, mi, re. Mi, fa, la, sol, fa. Mi, fa, la, sol, fa. Si, sol, si, sol. Si, sol, re, mi. La, sol, fa. Re, mi, re, fa, la, do, mi, re. And that's going to do it for this video. I think in the next video we're going to go ahead and stick to these keys, do a couple more examples in F major, D minor, G major, and E minor, and keep hammering away at that alto clef. So until then, I say as usual, happy sightseeing.